For 6 centuries, an empire fought almost non-stop. Kings, sultans, republics, crusader armies, rebels, rising European states, whoever existed, they fought them. They conquered countries, lost some, redrew their borders again and again, survived crises, and kept their armies alive from the Balkans to the deserts of Arabia. And in all this chaos, they pulled off something very few great powers ever managed. They kept fighting without going bankrupt. Because the Ottomans didn't just learn how to wage war, they learned how to finance it, as if they could keep fighting forever. Everyone knows the Ottoman Empire lasted a very long time, but the real question is this. How did a state that fought this much not collapse? Most people think states fall because they lose wars, but wars don't kill empires. Budgets do. Leadership mistakes do. Logistics do. The Ottomans learned this early. Instead of the classic European collect taxes, feed the army model, they built something far smarter, a self-financing war machine. But first, we need to go back to the beginning. Under Osman Bey, the Ottomans emerged as a tiny frontier principality in northwestern Anatolia. A few thousand horsemen, a leader good at spotting opportunities, a collapsing Byzantine world around them. Put it all together, and a few villages turned into a whole region. And notice this. Every early conquest brought both military and financial gains. Every town taken meant land, crops, taxes, manpower. War was a source of income from day one. Then came Bursa, then the crossing into Europe, and suddenly the Ottomans were sitting right on top of every major trade route between Europe and Asia. In medieval economics, that meant you control the world's main arteries. From Venice to Iran, from Cairo to Budapest, whoever moved goods passed through Ottoman gates, and everyone who passed the gate paid taxes. This flow of income was the Ottomans' strongest weapon. War requires 3 things: food, metal, and manpower. None easy to secure, but with steady cash flow, you can manage. And the Ottomans had exactly that. Still, money alone solves nothing. Plenty of rich empires collapsed because of military expenses. What made the Ottomans different wasn't the money, it was the system behind it. Enter the Timar system. Think of it like this. How does a state eliminate its biggest cost? Answer: by not paying salaries. The Ottomans didn't pay their cavalry, they gave them rights. A Sipahi received a tax district. He collected the taxes, equipped himself, fed his horse, and stayed ready for war. No salary, no burden on the treasury. Soldier happy. Peasants know the routine. The army mobilizes fast and cheap. Ottoman cavalry funded itself without touching the state budget. While Europe struggled with mercenaries who disappeared the moment the money dried up, the Ottomans had no such problem. Their system worked even in peacetime. The second major structure was the Janissaries. Everyone knows the name, but few understand their financial role. Janissaries were professional soldiers raised through the Devshirme system, completely loyal to the state. Most of the cost of raising these boys was actually carried by the peasants, not the state. The state only trained them once they were old enough. This drastically lowered military expenses. Timar made cavalry cheap and strong. Janissaries provided a disciplined professional infantry corps. Together they created a military force that was both effective and affordable. And the magic didn't stop there. The Ottomans made each war finance the next. New land meant new taxes. New ports meant new trade. New population meant new revenue. Most European kings won wars but came home poorer. The Ottomans usually came home richer. Their geography alone was a treasure: the straits, the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, the Iranian routes. Anyone moving goods from Europe to Asia had to go through them. This made the Ottomans one of the richest states in the world in the 1500s. And there were state monopolies: salt, tobacco, coffee, which brought steady revenue. Think of them as early versions of today's national oil companies. There were also vassal states paying tribute, cheap to maintain, high in return. For centuries the empire lived on its own income, without borrowing. No huge debts, no crushing interest, no foreign creditor pressure. But this system wasn't eternal. By the late 1600s, Europe was rapidly industrializing. Trade moved to the oceans. The Timar system began to break down. Sipahis grew unreliable. Janissaries gained power, gained privileges, interfered in politics. They became a state within the state, blocking every reform attempt. When the empire shifted to European-style armies, suddenly salaries had to be paid, which meant cash. And that pushed the Ottomans toward the most dangerous place, foreign borrowing. In the 1800s, they took loan after loan. Interest was high, conditions harsh. When payments were delayed in 1881, the empire was forced to hand its finances over to European control. A state that once dictated the direction of money now lost control of its own. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? A power rises through financial discipline, stays strong with innovation, ignores warnings, and collapses when economic realities shift. Even today, the same mechanisms live on in modern forms. The Timar system echoes in private military contractors and state tenders. The struggle over trade routes shows up in straits and energy corridors. State monopolies are mirrored in national oil giants. Late-stage debt crises appear in Argentina, Greece, and even massive economies. The final lesson is simple but brutal. Empires don't die on battlefields. They die on balance sheets. The Ottomans lived 6 centuries because they built a system where war financed itself. When that system collapsed, so did the empire. Financial structures can carry power for centuries, until one day they can't. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History already holds the answers, and I'll show you where to look. And to anyone returning, it's good to have you here.